1964 when he purchased Holtz Chevrolet Buick. Dick was president of Baum Chevrolet from 1964 to 1992 and remained active in the business until his death. Baum was very active in the Clinton community during his years in ownership, including stints on the John Warner Hospital boards. Funeral services for Dick Baum are set for Wednesday morning in Clinton. See his complete obituary in the obituary section of DeWittDailyNews.com. We'll also have details coming up later in our newscast. A first-of-its-kind screening process will take place later this month at Lincoln and Douglas Elementary Schools in Clinton. Children entering, whether in the Clinton pre-K program, a private pre-K program, or children not attending pre-K, are all encouraged to attend this event on April 19th. Principal Jessica Patrick says this is going to be a low-stress environment to introduce kids to the kindergarten classroom and for staff to engage and learn about students coming in next year.
So this is an idea I had pretty much as soon as I got hired, because I quickly realized that kindergarten screening was not something already in practice here. Our preschool screening is pretty established, but kindergarten screening is something that I think is greatly beneficial for the school and for the students. So Camp Kindergarten will be kind of an open house style event coming up on April 19th, and we'll be at Lincoln in the morning and Douglas in the afternoon. And students and their families are welcome to attend either event regardless of homeschool. So whatever is convenient for them, they can go to that event. And it's really about 90 minutes where we're trying to accomplish a lot of goals. So during this time, the students and their families can come into the building. They can start to meet all of the people that they're going to be spending kindergarten and first grade with. And then the incoming kindergartners will be getting to spend time in the classrooms, just meeting the teacher. They're going to participate in like center type activities. And it gives the kindergarten teacher kind of a baseline of where are they at academically, where are they at socially, just kind of looking for anything that we might need to know as we move into kindergarten. Then at the same time, I will be doing kind of a family orientation. So I'll be giving families important information about what kindergarten looks like, transportation, arrival, drop-off, lunch, just the information that will be helpful coming up into kindergarten. Kindergarten is full day. So it's a big change for a lot of our kiddos. Yeah. Obviously, we have a wonderful preschool program, but most of those kiddos only attend half-day preschool. So going from the half-day to a full day is a big transition. So we're just looking at all the ways that we can make that as smooth as possible.
According to Patrick, Camp Kindergarten will be an informational setting that gives the staff a chance to get to know the kids and for parents to be introduced to the kindergarten classroom.
It's very informal. Think learner characteristics. So really, we're just seeing, do they willingly leave their parents when it's time to go to the kindergarten classroom? Will they sit at the table and talk with other students? Do we might need to notify our speech pathologist that there's maybe a potential concern when the student comes into kindergarten with their speech? Obviously, we'll look at a little bit of colors and shapes and numbers, just really social interaction. And then at the same time, when I'm doing the parent orientation, I'll have parents complete an SEL screener, so a social emotional learning screener, just to see if the parents or these caregivers have any concerns of their own that they want us to know prior to kindergarten.
Patrick indicates a kindergarten screening process can also help them establish balanced classrooms for next year.
So it helps us create balanced class lists. So we're looking at all the different categories of academic skills, behavior skills, speech, social emotional. So we're trying to balance these class lists as well as we can. And then this way we can also notify, like I said, our speech pathologist who might need certain kind of interventions, really just so we have all the things in place. So we're not spending time at the beginning of the year. It's already in place and we can get going. The kids, whatever it is that they need.
As more and more parents opt out of having kids attend pre-K, Patrick indicates there are several factors for that, but it can create issues for kids transitioning to the classroom setting, another purpose for Camp Kindergarten.
That's also what we're looking at, and I think it varies community by community, but it's a major community issue. I know childcare is a big issue for a lot of families. If the student only goes half a day, they have to find childcare for the other half of the day and transportation. Eventually, Eventually, I would love to expand our preschool program. I think we could I think there's definitely the need to double its size. I think that's something I would definitely love to see in the future.
Sure.
So we can provide placement for as many preschoolers as possible. So our existing preschool students automatically attend Camp Kindergarten. Adult may or may not join them, but they're automatically participating. It's about 90 minutes where there's a lot of things going on simultaneously. So some preschool classes will combine for preschool students that are staying in preschool next year. But then we have those preschool students that will attend Camp Kindergarten because they're going to kindergarten next year.
Right.
And then our existing kindergarten students will use this opportunity to visit first grade classrooms. So then our first grade students get that opportunity to explain to them, hey, this is what first grade is like. Here's what you need to know. So it's about 90 minutes where everybody is participating in this big transition.
Patrick asks for anyone who plans to come out for these screenings to RSVP with the schools. She notes you will be able to begin registering for kindergarten at that time. Additionally, there will be information presented to parents about preparing their kids for kindergarten. The Decatur Area Arts Council is promoting its latest grant cycle. Jerry Johnson is the executive director of the Decatur Area Arts Council and indicates nonprofits and arts-based efforts can apply for funding from the council for special projects or general programming.
Well, the Arts Council, with the support of the National Endowment for the Arts and the Illinois Arts Council itself, has some funding that we are encouraged to provide to local not-for-profits in our service area, which includes Macon County and Clinton, Assumption, Moweaqua, Taylorville, areas, Pana, those areas as well. But not-for-profit organizations who have an event or an activity or a program that is arts-focused can request some financial support from us. It's not a huge amount. It usually ranges between $200 and $1,200. The next deadline for request is May 1st. We have 3 different deadlines: February 1st, May 1st, and October 1st. The next deadline is May 1st.
According to Johnson, they recently were able to help the Decatur Children's Museum with an ag-themed exhibit. These cycles each time around do not have specific uses, calling it an open grant cycle.
Yeah, they're all just an open, like you said, an open grant cycle. That's simply the deadline for a particular time period. Some local arts agencies like us around the state only have a single date where they grant out their funding once a year. And we found that a lot of smaller organizations might struggle to plan that far ahead in terms of requesting a grant, knowing that they're going to be working on something 10 months from now. These at least give you a little more of a chance to request funding for something that's happening 2 or 3 months from now. So you can find out all the criteria like that there on DecaturArts.org by downloading the guidelines and application. But we give funding to lots of different groups: local schools, local colleges, churches, not-for-profit organizations. We recently gave some funding, for example, to the Children's Museum here in Decatur, and they had a mural painted inside their building that spoke to one of the areas that the kids can learn and play in, agriculture-themed.
According to Johnson, once applications are in, a small committee reviews those and points out an applicant may seek out an applicant for committee may seek out an applicant for more information. Otherwise, the Arts Council Board approves those, and once the event or program has concluded, the group is then reimbursed.
It has to be an event that's going to be happening no sooner than a month after, like say at June and later, for this deadline.
Okay.
That gives us the opportunity to review the applications after May 1st, contact the organizations who are being awarded money, and then they have to, as one of the obligations, recognize the fact that they were awarded some money from the Decatur Area Arts Council in their promotional pieces. So there's the timing in that sense. But also, they need to have a pretty good idea of what they're going to be doing and who they're going to serve in terms of who this is for. Not only those who participate, but those who come and appreciate that, if it's a performance, for example, who their audience might be. And then a reasonably good grasp of what their budget is in terms of where they think their additional funding might come from and what their expenses are specifically, and then how they intend to use the money that we award them. Yeah, we have a small committee, not made up of our staff members, but of community people who are familiar with the arts and local arts agencies and groups like that, and they review all the applications. Sometimes they will call and talk to the applicants to get more specific information to determine what they're going to recommend they receive. And then those recommendations go to our board here at the Arts Council, who review those and approve them. And then the people who have requested that and gotten approval are notified how much they're being awarded. So there's nothing more to do after you submit your application. The money is awarded after the event takes place. So we do require that they execute their event, their activity, their program, then complete a final report, and then we award them their money once that is over.
DecaturArts.org has the latest on this grant cycle for the Decatur Area Arts Council. For more information on the Arts Council, follow them on Facebook and Instagram, or find their YouTube page for information on upcoming programs and activities. News time is 23 minutes after 7 o'clock here on this Monday. We've got plenty more coming your way next on the WHOW Morning Show.
Spring is in the air, so it's time to choose your new Silverado. This is Scott Baum from Baum Chevrolet Buick here in Clinton. We have a good selection of new Silverados with springtime savings and special finance rates. Choose from regular cabs, double cabs, or crew cabs in gas or diesel. We are also allowing extra money for your trade on all new Silverados this month. See our springtime Silverado inventory at BaumChevyBuick.com right from the start.
News time is 24 minutes after 7 o'clock here on this Monday. Again, I'm Seth Lawrence with you folks today for this expanded local newscast. Are you going to be watching the solar eclipse today? If you are, you need the right eye protection. Bobby Elzy with the Department of Public Health says you need certified safety glasses or lenses.
Please do not stare directly at the eclipse unless you are wearing legitimate protective eyewear. And no, your sunglasses, normal sunglasses, will not cut it. They do not protect your eyes from the solar radiation that can actually cause damage.
Staring at the sun can cause permanent eye damage. As the total solar eclipse is set to send parts of southern Illinois into darkness, not everyone can make it to somewhere to view in totality. Blair Allen with NASA Edge will be sending live feeds from Saluki Stadium in Carbondale to NASA that will be shared with everyone.
We covered the 2017 eclipse with a megacast from Saluki Stadium, but NASA is going to provide full coverage on NASA TV and all its platforms of the 2024 eclipse, and we are going to provide telescope feeds from Saluki Stadium, again, to them and the rest of the world. This is a huge privilege.
Find out more by going to nasa.gov or search for NASA's official YouTube channel. With more and more kids using social media, a doctor with OSF Healthcare wants you to know about the mental health risks that come with it. Dr. Kyle Borky is the Director of Behavioral Health Outpatient Services for OSF Healthcare and a clinical child psychologist. He says every hour spent on social media increases your likelihood of anxiety and depression. Dr. Borky says in many cases the people you follow on social media are not your friends, you don't know them personally, and you've probably never met them and never will. Up to 95% of kids age 13 to 17 and nearly 40% of children ages 8 to 12 use a social media platform, according to the U.S. Surgeon General. Tracking black vultures in Illinois, and livestock producers throughout the state are keeping a watchful eye. Brad Wilson is a wildlife biologist with the USDA APHIS Wildlife Service.
Yeah, when it comes to the sub permit, so back in 2022, the Illinois Farm Bureau, they applied for and were issued a migratory bird depredation permit from the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, and this was kind of a blanket permit for the entire state. And when they applied for this permit, so they paid the fees to the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, and with that permit, they're able to issue what's called sub-permits, free of charge to producers in the state that are affected by black vultures that are depredating their livestock. But this authorization is provided by the Illinois Farm Bureau at no cost to livestock producers. And in 2022, in the first year of the program, the Illinois Farm Bureau issued 15 sub-permits among nine counties in southern Illinois. And then this past year, in 2023, they issued 8 sub-permits among 7 different counties. And then more recently, so far this year, we've issued 4 sub-permits, although I did have 2 calls this week that we're working on sub-permits. And currently, we're getting a lot of calls from Marion County. I believe 3 out of the last 5 calls have been in Marion County for whatever reason.
More information on the black vulture depredation permits are available through ilfb.org under the Farmers and Rural Resources section. Time now for a look at today's obituaries. 96-year-old Richard Dick Dale Baum of Clinton passed away Thursday, April 4th at Sugar Creek in Normal. Services for 96-year-old Dick Dale Baum will be at 11 a.m. Wednesday, April 10th at Calvert Funeral Home in Clinton with Pastor Mark Cooper and Ernie Harvey, Jr. officiating. Burial will be at 10 a.m. Thursday, April 11th at East Lawn Cemetery in Bloomington. The visitation will be from 9 to 11 a.m. Wednesday at the funeral home. Given Dick's love of people and service, donations can be made to Little Galilee Christian Camp at 7539 Little Galilee Road in Clinton or Camp Friedenswald in Cassopolis, Michigan. News is brought to you by Baum Chevrolet Buick in Clinton, your Silverado headquarters, and the morning show streams to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. News time, 29 minutes after 7 o'clock on this Monday. We'll take a look at local sports coming your way next. Saturday was not only picture perfect, it was a perfect day for high school sports after a tough week of teams trying to get games in last week. A plethora of Central Illinois teams in action on Saturday. That included Clinton High School baseball and softball, who both came away winners. Monticello, a winner on Saturday. Mount Pulaski, Normal Community, Normal West among the winners in high school sports. We've got those recaps coming your way next on WHOW.
With SRN News, I'm Rich Thomason. Former President Trump says abortion is an issue best left to the states. The presumptive Republican presidential nominee posted a video to Truth Social this morning. In the event abortion is banned in a particular state, Mr. Trump says he would support exceptions for cases of rape, incest, or when the life of the mother is in danger. Salvage crews have started removing containers from the deck of the cargo ship that crashed into and collapsed the Francis Scott Key Bridge in Baltimore. There's been another incident involving a Boeing jetliner. A Southwest Airlines plane leaving Denver was forced to land after the engine cover fell off and hit the wing flap during takeoff. Southwest says the Boeing 737 did land safely yesterday. No one was injured. On Wall Street this morning, stock futures have turned positive. Dow futures up 38 points. NASDAQ futures ahead 26, and the S&P futures better by 6 points. More details at srnnews.com.
Time now for a look at sports. I'm Seth Lawrence with this report. 3 Clinton pitchers combined on a 3-hit shutout Saturday as Clinton beat DMAC 3-0 in non-conference high school baseball action from Mackinac Saturday. Preston Curtis threw an inning and a third of one-hit ball without a walk or strikeout. Brock Wilson struck out 3 in 3 and a third innings of scoreless relief, and Mason Walker struck out 3 in 2 and a third innings of scoreless relief. The senior only walked 1 batter without allowing a hit. Walker also walked twice at the plate, scored twice, and stole a base. Colton Walker was 1 for 2 with a stolen base, while Jack Manning and Aiden Toohill drove in runs. In the win, the Maroons go to 8-3 overall and take on GCMS today at Clinton High School. The Clinton Lady Maroons came out swinging Saturday and rolled to a 16-4 five-inning run rule win over El Paso Gridley in non-conference girls softball action. From El Paso, Brooke Reeves reached base 5 times on free passes. She scored 3 runs. Hadley Humble doubled twice and drove in a run while scoring twice. Avery Smith was 1 for 4 with 3 RBIs for the Lady Maroons. Heidi Humble drove in a run and scored twice for Clinton, while Ashley Armstrong and Olivia Haynes drove in runs as well. Haynes allowed 4 unearned runs in 5 innings. She walked 2 and permitted 5 hits with 5 strikeouts. The Lady Maroons go to 5-5 overall. They will travel to Warrensburg Latham Tuesday for a Central Illinois Conference tilt. Matt Swartz broke a 1-all tie in the top of the 8th inning with a sacrifice fly, helping Monticello retain a perfect record and held off IVC 4-1 in 8 innings from Chillicothe in Illini Prairie Conference baseball Saturday morning. Swartz was 2 for 3 with a double and 2 RBIs. Dylan Brown finished 3 for 4 with 2 runs scored. Coy Williams was 2 for 3 with an RBI. Moving to the top of the order in a lineup shakeup, Luke Teschke reached base 4 times with 3 walks and was 1 for 2 with a run scored. Williams threw 7 innings of 1-run ball with 6 strikeouts. He walked 1 and permitted 5 hits. Ike Young closed out the win with a scoreless inning of relief, striking out 2. Monticello remains perfect on the season, going to 15-0. The Sages return to action today, hosting Champaign St. Thomas More. Hear the action at 4:30 on 95.9 FM WEZC and online at DeWittDailyNews.com. Blue Ridge scored 9 runs in the 7th inning and rallied to an 11-8 win over Georgetown Ridge Farm Saturday in non-conference softball action in Georgetown. Cassie Zimmerman doubled, homered, and drove in 3 for the Lady Knights. Addison Ruse was 3 for 5 with 4 RBIs and a run scored. Ellie Schleeper finished 3 for 4 with an RBI. She also allowed 8 runs, but 2 were earned on 8 hits with 10 strikeouts and 3 walks. In circle Saturday for Blue Ridge. The Lady Knights go to 3-7 overall. They will take on Argenta Oriena today. Mount Pulaski scored 8 runs in the 6th inning and 10-run ruled Decatur MacArthur 16-0 in 6 innings Saturday in Decatur. Eric Cooper paced the Hilltoppers offense, going 2 for 4 with 4 RBIs and 2 runs scored. Landon Smith and Chance Payne each doubled twice. Payne drove in 3, while Liam Smith was 1 for 3 with 3 RBIs. 4 Hilltoppers pitchers combined for 6 innings of shutout ball. Luke Martin got the start and struck out 4 in 2 perfect innings of work. Cooper struck out 3 in 2 innings of scoreless relief. Tyler Cross and Franklin Wade scored 3 runs apiece for Mount Pulaski. The Hilltoppers stay perfect on the season at 9-0. They will travel to Cerro Gordo Bemint on Tuesday. Lincoln could only muster a pair of hits as Pawnee rolled to a 5-0 win in non-conference high school baseball Saturday in Lincoln. Trey Schilling and Carson Komnick registered the only hits for the Rail Splitters. Jacob Butler went 6 1/3 innings of scoreless relief for Pawnee. He struck out 2, allowed 2 hits, and walked 2 batters. Lincoln evens its record at 5-5 overall. They return to action Tuesday afternoon at Springfield High for Central State 8 high school baseball. Normal West combined for 31 runs and a no-hitter in a doubleheader Saturday sweep over Urbana in Big 12 high school baseball from Normal. Braden Whitehead was a homer short of the cycle in the first game as Normal West rolled to a 14-0 5-inning run rule win. Whitehead doubled in 2 in the 3rd inning, then tripled in 2 more in the 4th. He was 3 for 4 with 4 RBIs, 3 runs scored, and walked. Chase Newth was 1 for 3 with 3 RBIs and 2 runs scored for the Wildcats. Alex Olson was 2 for 3 with a double, 2 RBIs, and 2 runs scored. Taylor Hafferman hit a 2-run homer for Normal West, while Trent Durham tripled and brought in a run. Blake Krancer doubled and brought in a run. Hafferman struck out 8 across 4 innings of one-hit ball. In the second game, Sam Discarpentry hit a solo home run and drove in 4 runs, leading the Wildcats to a 17-0 5-run rule romp. The senior was added a 2-run double, finishing 2 for 4 with 4 RBIs and scored twice. Olson was 1 for 2 with 3 RBIs and scored twice for Normal West, while Krancer, Newth, and Jackson Krancer all drove in 2 runs apiece. Brady Hart was 3 for 4 with a double at the top of the order in the second game of the afternoon and scored twice. Newth, Jackson Krancer, Hart, and Sean Jenkins all hit doubles. Sam Burney tossed 3 innings of no-hit ball. The junior walked 5, hit a batter, and struck out 5 for the Wildcats. Jenkins threw an inning of relief with 2 strikeouts. With Saturday's 2 wins, Normal West goes to 7-5 overall and 3-0 in the Big 12. They're back in action hosting Bloomington today. They beat Bloomington 8-3 on Friday. Normal Community kept its unblemished record intact, scoring 4 runs in the bottom of the 5th inning and rallied past Dunlap 7-5 in non-conference high school boys baseball Saturday in Normal. Riley Hendren drew a bases-loaded walk to make the score 5-4. Ryan Teeley grounded out to add another run and tie the score at 5. Anthony Gura broke the tie with an RBI single for the Ironmen. Kyle Beatty was 1 for 2 with a double, 2 RBIs, a run scored at the top of the order for Normal. Caleb Hackman added an RBI double for the Ironmen, while Hendren scored 2 runs. Jack Richards and Luke Clunky combined for 5 one-run innings for Normal. Richards allowed a hit and struck out 3 in 2 innings. Clunky struck out 3, walked 4, and allowed a run in his 2 hits. The Ironmen go to 12-0 on the season. They will travel to Champaign Central Monday for a rematch of an 8-5 win for Normal on Friday in Normal. The Illinois Fighting Illini broke a 4-all tie in the 7th inning, beating Minnesota 7-4 and clinched the series weekend series with a win in the first game of a Saturday doubleheader. The 3-game series was played Friday and Saturday with inclement weather expected in Minneapolis on Sunday. Illinois was paced by Cal Hejia, who went 3 for 4 with a walk and 3 RBIs. Colton Quagliano picked up 3 hits, going 3 for 3 with a walk and 2 RBIs. 4 Illinois runs were scored with 2 outs. Jake Rons got the win out of the pen for the Illini, with Joe Glassy earning the save, tossing 2 scoreless frames to end the game. Cooper Omens took a no decision, allowing just a run on 2 hits over 5 innings of work. Minnesota jumped out to a 4-0 lead and never looked back, as Illinois had a 7-game win streak snapped in an 8-3 defeat in the second game of the doubleheader. Cameron Chialoy went 3 for 5 with a double, the lone Illini to have a multi-hit effort in the game. He's reached safely in 15 straight games and 26 of 27 overall. Illinois earned a 4th straight series victory. Despite the loss, every Illini starter reached base safely, but they left 12 runners on base. Illinois returns to Illinois Field to begin a 9-game homestand with a midweek contest versus ISU. First pitch on Tuesday is 6 o'clock. Junior Tanner Perry shined Sunday as Illinois State picked up a series sweep over Valparaiso 6-0 Sunday at Duffy Bass Field. Perry recorded just his 4th win of the season, striking out a season-high 10 as the junior allowed no runs and only 2 hits in the outing. The Redbirds at 17-11 overall go to 7-2 in the Valley. They finished with 12 hits on the afternoon, including 2 hits from 4 batters and a pair of RBIs from Augie Rasmussen. Greg Nichols doubled home a pair of Redbirds to make it 3-0 in the second. Since being swept by then number 9 Vanderbilt in early March and a 10-run rule loss to Indiana that following week, the Redbirds have won 9 of 12 overall. Illinois State is scheduled to travel to Illinois Tuesday, Western Illinois Wednesday, and Evansville next weekend. In a game heard here on WHOW, MJ Melendez hit his 3rd home run of the series, a 2-run drive in a 3-run 7th inning as the Kansas City Royals rallied to beat the Sox 5-3 Sunday for a 4-game sweep. Chicago has started 1-9 for just the second time in the 124-year history of the franchise after going 0-10 in 1968. Chicago ended a 19-inning scoreless streak in the fourth and led 3-0 in the fifth, but Hunter Renfroe's two-run homer off starter Garrett Crochet and Melendez then hit a two-run homer in the sixth off D.V. Garcia for a 4-3 lead, his third go-ahead hit of the series. Melendez flipped his bat in triumph. Dominic Fletcher hit an RBI double in the fourth off Alec Marsh and scored on Braden Shoemake's sac fly, just the third multi-inning of the season for the Sox.
The pitch is hit on a line toward the right field corner. That is a fair ball. It'll get to the barrier. Benintendi to third, and Eddie Rodriguez is sending him. The relay throw to the plate is late. He got in and ends up at third, and it's 1-0 White Sox.
Crochet continued his hot start to the season, going 5 innings of two-run ball. He struck out 5-0 walks and allowed 5 hits.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. That Randy Johnson-like slider. Called strike 3. Fastball at 99.
Pegged the outside corner.
Swing and a miss. Perez strikes out for the second time.
That's just filthy nasty.
2-0 Sox in the fourth. The pitch, swing and a miss. And Witt retired. Swing and a miss on a high fastball. Inning over. 9 up, 9 down for Crochet.
The White Sox take on the Guardians next. Tristan McKenzie starts for Cleveland in tonight's opener against the visiting Pale Hose. Cody Bellinger homered against his former team. Shota Imanaga threw 4 shutout innings in a rain-shortened start as the Cubs beat the Dodgers 8-1 Sunday. Imanaga was lifted after the game resumed following a weather delay of nearly 3 hours. The left-hander allowed 2 singles, struck out 3, and walked none, giving him 10 scoreless innings over his first 2 big league starts. The Cubs won for the 6th time in 7 games. They took 2 of 3 in a weekend set that showcased 4 of the major's top Japanese players. Shohei Ohtani doubled in Mookie Betts in the 8th to account for the Dodgers' only run. Ohtani also hit a 2-out triple in the 6th, but Freddie Freeman bounced to third for the final out of the inning. Yency Almonte struck out 2 in a scoreless inning for the victory against his former team. Daniel Palencia worked 3 innings for his first career save. The Wrigley grounds crew worked on the mound and infield throughout the rainy, cold afternoon. The game was stopped with the Cubs up 6-0 in the bottom of the 4th. Michael Busch hit a bases-clearing double against his former team to put the Cubs up 3-0 in the first. Chicago loaded the bases on Freeman's error, a single and a walk. Busch and Almonte were acquired in a trade with L.A. in January. Cubs right-hander Javier Assad is scheduled to pitch tonight at San Diego. Padres right-hander Yu Darvish will face his former team. The Miami Marlins ended a record 9-game losing streaks to start the season when Jazz Chisholm Jr. and Nick Gordon hit 3-run homers in a 6-run first inning that lifted them over the St. Louis Cardinals 10-3 Sunday. Max Meyer, who had Tommy John surgery in August of 2022, returned to a major league mound this April and pitched 5 innings without a decision against the Angels. Meyer retired his first 13 before Nolan Gorman homered on a drive that bounced off the glove of a leaping Chisholm at center field. Gorman hit his first 2 home runs this season, adding a 2-run drive in the 9th off Matt Andriese for his 7th career multi-homer game. Kyle Gibson allowed 7 runs and 7 hits in 6 innings in his debut for St. Louis. Cardinals right-hander Miles Michaelis will face Phillies right-hander Spencer Turnbull to open a 3-game series tonight. Paulo Banchero scored 24 points. Jalen Suggs added 19, and the Orlando Magic kept up their playoff push with a 113-98 win over the Bulls Sunday night. DeMar DeRozan had 30 for the Bulls. Javonte Green, starting for the first time this season in place of injured forward Alex Caruso, had 15 points and 8 rebounds. The Bulls locked in the bottom half of the Eastern Conference play-in bracket, shot 51% from the field, but made only 6 3-pointers and had 21 turnovers. With 4 to play, the 37-41 Bulls cannot move up, but can drop down to 10th place. They are playing for home court in the first play-in game against the Hawks. They'll host the Knicks on Tuesday. Jordan Kyrou scored in the shootout, and St. Louis beat the Ducks 6-5 Sunday to preserve their slim playoff hopes. St. Louis managed to overcome not having forward Jake Neighbors and defenseman Justin Folk available, who were both injured against the Sharks. The Hawks will host, or rather the Blues will host the Blackhawks on Wednesday. Get sports anytime from your computer or mobile device at DeWittDailyNews.com.